Hello, everybody. Here we are. And we are here to disrupt the entire planet. It feels like. Well, I feel like that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm really not getting anywhere with that. We want to talk about, Sarah here tonight. I'm here with Sarah Friels, and we're going to talk about obstructing the vote in 2020, because the midterms are right upon us here. I don't think we're going to have much effect because we didn't stop.
No.
Soon enough, but now we literally have, we tried, but we have a long time now between now and 2020 to try to obstruct this thing. And yeah, I know, it will. So, and you can bet they're spending millions of dollars already on candidates, so you can bet your life that we're going to have to pull a quick one to get this to work.
Yeah.
So, we are essentially, Become Ungovernable is essentially joining forces with the DNC Fraud Protest to try to get this shit rolling. And part of that is also obstructing some of the elites that blow through our towns, like Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton.
And Nina Turner.
Right. And Nina Turner and Oprah Winfrey, apparently. She's coming to Boston.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I didn't tell you this, but Michelle Obama has had a little powerhouse to her tour. Did you see that I sent you on Discord?
Oprah and Reese
Witherspoon. Right.
Yeah. I'm surprised Alyssa Milano's not on that train.
I know, really. And not for nothing, but they can feel our pain. You know that, right? Even though she's charging $4,300 a ticket.
Like the DNC Park Protest in Seattle that's on the 12th and the 13th.
Right.
That's $100 a ticket just for the minimum to get in the door. So, full disclosure for the people that are going to be watching on the live stream and the people that are going to show up, they may not let us in the building because I'm not going to advocate for anybody, including myself, to spend money to paying them, to be there. So If we can crash it, we're going to crash it. If we can get in the building, we're going to get in the building. But I've noticed with Democrat events, they either have them at churches or like synagogues or Baptist church or places that are, hard to get into unless you're there for support,
Right.
Easily kicked out and removed if not, This event's going to be at a hotel. I think it's Doubletree Hotel in the SeaTac area. So, full disclosure, if we can't get in there, we will be outside showing opposition to Nina, regardless of, if she even speaks to us. I'm expecting her not to speak to us. Corner her like
that's a fair bet.
So our goal is to confront her, and I think it'll still be eye-opening for people to see how hard it is to actually show her opposition from outside of the party. It is very hard. It's not easy. It's not for the thin-skinned.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely not.
I mean, you gotta, the people joining us with the DNC fraud, like you and me and Alex, and we have to understand that people are going to be upset at us, especially with the obstruct the vote. But you know what? I think it's a good thing. I think it's time for them to start being uncomfortable and start listening to other people that have opposing views.
Right.
As much as it pains us, to listen to these Democrats spewing mainstream bullshit. I think it's very inspiring, I think, to see people showing real opposition. So that's what I'm all about,
Right. So another thing I wanted to say is this is some of the most frustrating stuff I hear all the time, okay? I hear, like today I heard, I said, we have to alleviate this. We have to be on the streets. Oh, that's impractical. And I hear, and then from other people I hear, oh, you're never going to get people to stop voting. And then I hear, no, people are not going to stop consuming. Well, okay, so I guess if that's the case, what will they do to help change what's going on here, to help tear down the system. They don't want to stop voting. They don't want to vote outside the duopoly, so they won't vote libertarian and they won't vote green, right? They don't want to be on the streets because that's impractical. They don't want to even change their thought process. So in my mind, we used to tell people, if you don't vote, then don't complain. What I'm saying is, if you don't want to do any of those things, then you can't complain, because we're not going to vote our way out of this, and we are not going to complain our way out of this.
Yeah.
Complaining is meaningless, and anger is meaningless unless you turn it into something. So that's the other frustrating part of this. So when I say to people we need to be on the streets, I think people are thinking, all 325 million of us running outside our door at the same time, which is totally not going to happen. But what we're talking about is, even if 15 people show up at your DNC fraud protest, right? But you're doing them a lot. People are doing things in little pockets everywhere. If that continues to multiply, then they get bigger. And if they get bigger, they get scarier. And if they're frequent, then you know what? All we need to do is create fear, uncertainty, and doubt in their minds the way they create it in us through the mainstream media. And we have to use different tactics. We have to be seen and heard. And I don't care what you say. You can sign petitions all fucking day long, and they go in the bing, bing bucket, okay? Delete, delete, delete. So we just got to do something. It's like people just don't get it, you know? It has to be from us.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we have to, not that it's going to be hard, but we have to do this without any celebrity support, any, huge political person support.
No politicians
as if
invited.
They would support something like we're doing, because they wouldn't.
Right. No, they wouldn't.
That distinguishes the difference. If what you're working on is a truly anti-establishment, peaceful movement, they're not going to want anything, they're not going to get close to that with a 10-foot pole,
No. Like somebody said to me when I was trying to do the strike thing, only to get Bernie to support the strike. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, you have got to be kidding me. That just is not going to happen.
Yeah. People ask me that like every day. They're like, well, why don't you get so-and-so's helper? Why don't you get Jimmy Dore? Why don't you get somebody so-and-so to help you? And I'm like, well, you know what? I would. I've asked them. I've tried several times, to dozens and dozens of people. Either they don't answer or they say it's not important. And I'm like, and it's really eye-opening to, to show people that when you put yourself on the line, when you participate in direct action, when you participate in hosting it and putting it all together, and then you see all the people that fade away and don't ever help, and then they also, on top of that, then they also support the GOP. And I'm like, see, they're not really wanting to hold the DNC accountable. They're wanting their candidate to win,
Right.
They're not wanting to end DNC corruption,
Right.
When you blatantly say, just straightforward, I don't think Nina Turner is somebody that needs to be confronted, then you either, one, you don't know how bad the DNC is and what Nina Turner is actually doing.
Right.
Or you just don't care,
Right. Right.
So I think what you and I are doing, and so many others that are in our circle, where we're standing up, and we don't have to have other people, reinforcing our beliefs just to know we're on the right track,
Right.
We've done the research, and it makes more sense to us to refuse to vote than to vote, So, all the people that advocate for voting, you go do your best. You go and you put as much money into it as you want. And then when you're broke, the DNC Fraud and Become Ungovernable is going to have an organization, is going to have a movement for you to join, when they get tired, because they're going to get tired of it. Right.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing different about this cycle than the last cycle. It's the same sick, twisted system. And, people can talk about, we have to have paper ballots. We have to have hand counting. And none of that matters until you get money out of politics. That's the biggest root cause of every problem we have in America. And we should be on this. If we were on the streets just demanding that, if we could get that achieved, we could work on everything else. But the notion that we just need to elect a Democrat and then we can fix everything is ridiculous, because what you're assuming is that all of this started with Donald Trump, 2 years ago? Honey, this has been in the making for decades, okay? This has been a very slow and painful process. In fact, it's been so slow and so stealthy that half the fucking population never even saw it. So, it is what it is. It's not going to get fixed overnight. But you know what? We have to start chipping away at this. Mm-hmm. If we're going to just sit here and say, oh, it's impractical, you never get people on the streets, I guarantee you, it's going to get so bad here, you are not going to have a choice. You are not.
Yeah.
I just don't think people realize the gravity.
We got to let go. We got to let go of that system. And that's why I'm like telling people, don't get upset, don't get freaked out, because people are going to go to the GOP, because that's the second option. That's what
right.
No. They say, okay, the Democrats are just a disaster. I can't support them. But the GOP, I believe the GOP is just as bad. However, there's information that's public already about the DNC. So we need to go, based on facts, not just on hunches. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think in time, we will develop a good case against the GOP too. But
here's what I believe. All right. Okay. Everybody knows the GOP is slime balls. They have been doing this blatantly. This is the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. One of them is stealthy. The other one is blatant. And everyone knows, this has been going on the GOP side, but the Democrats have been stealthy about it. They've learned well from the GOP. And here's the reality. The reality is the GOP and the Democrats need each other to keep this system going. So all of this bullshit you see, we take away women's rights, we fight for women's rights, all the identity politics, they need that to keep us in the system. So what they do is they put in a conservative judge, right? Then they get a bunch of women from freaking Vermont to take pictures naked and put ballots over their weenies, their pussies, all right? And that's supposed to inspire us to vote for a Democrat. Okay, and some people will just get, I just can't even. You understand me? It's like I wake up and I look at the fucking screen and it's like being in the Twilight Zone for me. Okay, I go, is this really happening?
Like on a massive
exactly.
Scale.
It's manipulation on both sides, and people don't see it. They're doing this and they're in this together, right? At the end of the day, all that matters to them is this: the money. They don't care whether this side wants abortion or this side doesn't want abortion. At the end of the day, they don't care. What they care about is what they get to grease their own palms with by making us fucking crazy. So we have to just show them we don't need the system. Us giving them the power keeps the system alive. And they need each other to keep other voices out. This is how they keep out third parties, is by making you believe this is all you got, And that's what they do. It's like being in Twilight Zone.
It's like watching a person hit themselves against the wall like repeatedly, and you're like, hey, that is going to damage you. That's going to hurt your health. And then you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I know, really. It's really.
I'm not wrong.
I know, I'm not wrong. I just can't. I can't even, like, when I read stuff. Some of the stuff I read, I can't believe it.
There's one thing I've noticed though. I actually have not been called a Russian bot in quite a few weeks. That's like a long stretch for me.
Oh yeah, I think what's happening now is right now people are fixed on taking back the house, right? That's what everybody's fixated on right now, right after this election, right?
Oh, they want it back, but it's not. Right, it's not. Their base.
Right after this election goes boom, right? We'll be back into Russian collusion or Russian hacking.
It's getting worse, though. This whole Russian thing is gotten to the point
election.
Facebook feels like they can justify silencing my voice and your voice and our voices of dissent. And that is state censorship. There's no reason why Facebook would be targeting people like you and me. Like my Facebook's, I'm permanently banned on this laptop from using Facebook. I try and make a new account because they keep deleting me, and it immediately goes to a checkpoint and says, oops, sorry, error, and I can never make an account. I mean, you tried to make one for me and it didn't work.
Right.
I mean, it's just,
I did. And I tried making one for you on when I had my what do you want to call it on there? My VPN. So I was coming from a different part of the country. So
I had to trade it on my phone and my tablet, and it was doing this exact same thing that it did to my laptop. So whatever they did to there, they can also do to the phone and your tablet. And
right.
It's not, I doubt it's just me. You know, it's not me. I mean, it's just, I can't even imagine the people that don't have even a small platform like we have, that have no voice, you know.
Right, exactly.
And what are they going to do, you know?
Right.
People stop posting cat pictures, you know, and.
Well, you know, I do think, here's what I think, you know, when we discuss, when I hear people say to me, you know, we're going to get off social media. Oh no, oh hell no. People, I need you to listen to me. This is ultimately what Facebook is doing. They are making the activists and the outspoken frustrated, right? And then what people say is we got to get off social media. And ultimately, if you get off social media, if you are an activist and you get off social media, you are giving them what they want. Yeah. They want people on Facebook who will make pretty, who will post family pictures ad nauseum, my child eating a peanut, my child eating a grape.
Parties.
My child playing with his own feces, whatever he's doing. People who only want to make, you know, I know people who will post pictures of their children incessantly. As soon as they put a bite in their mouth, they're documenting every move this kid makes. It's disgusting, really. And cats and dogs and llamas and other little things. And then what they also want you to do is to continue to share those fake book watch posts, right, where they show you can get this knitting needle for 25 cents. They want you to spend your money on Facebook, right? They want to make Facebook
and promoting
a safe place to Mark Zuckerberg rich and promote it, and they want the activists to get the fuck off it.
Yeah.
So if we walk away from Facebook, we are giving in, and that is bullshit, right? That's what they want. You need to think, you know, we need to be using Facebook smart, and we need to be using social media to organize and to share information and to get the word out. But ultimately, it's to use this information to get on the streets, in my book.
Yeah.
So we can't do this with just one thing. It's not going to be just being on the street. It's going to be part of it, okay?
It's online promoting, it's in-person promoting, it's public events, it's live streams, it's collaborations like you and I getting together, you know, having our own strategies and then combining our efforts to show real opposition to the Democratic Party and the GOP.
Right, and wherever people are going and whatever activities you're doing, it's documenting those things live and in real time.
Documenting how people react, and then I'll watch my videos back and see what I could do better next time, or you know, changing up my strategy, or changing up the topic, or you know, like what we're doing on the 12th and the 13th. We're driving from Spokane, Washington to Seattle. And I have, okay, so I printed out this document. It's on the DNC Fraud Protest website. Printed out the document, and it has a whole bunch of our hit things to say, you know, like voting does not work, you know, voting in rigged elections will not, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and just little things that I would want people to know if I was seeing them passing on the street, just to kind of drop a seed, you know.
Right.
And I'll put it in a page protector, and then on our trip, we're going to go through, and every gas station and every, maybe even stop by Democratic headquarters, we're going to tape that up all through the state. So we're going to hit up several cities and spread that seed, and that's what it's all about, is doing little things that may work, may not work, may help, may not. Maybe a waste of time, but just put the energy into it, and that's what we're, I'm using
Right.
the skills that I have.
Yep. Well, that's what we have to do. That's, like I said, it's, when you think about it, I have 5,000 people friends on Facebook, but not when I post something, 5,000 people don't see that right away. Only a number of people see it. So it has to be shared and reposted and shared and reposted. That's a big order. And I'm trying to post everywhere. I'm trying to post on, MeWe, Minds, Gab, Twitter, so yeah. But, and I don't know what possible use Tumblr is to me, but I post on Tumblr. It's like, I don't know what that is. I haven't figured that out yet.
I use MeWe, or I used Gab, MeWe, Pinterest. Pinterest has been really good. Because obviously memes, and kind of go under the radar. Instagram, Twitter. I used to hate Twitter.
I like Twitter. It's Instagram. I haven't figured out the best way to use Instagram yet, from my perspective. I don't think I have.
It's whatever works for each person. As long as you're on at least a few. And when I promote something, I'll copy and paste and put that same item on several platforms. So if I get deleted off Facebook or deleted off Twitter, whatever, that information is not lost,
Right. Yeah.
Not only saving it on my, backup USB, but we have to start getting smart, because we have to shut them down. Like, there is no ifs, ands. We're not confused anymore, and we need to build something for people to join, because they're so used to joining. They need a real platform, a real movement to be a part of, that shows real opposition. So I updated the DNC Fraud Protest website this week, and I have a page that says how to help. And then each time that I do a certain protest or some type of opposition, I'm documenting it, taking pictures of it. Like, I took a picture of my printer printing out those papers to put on the polls as I go across the state. And I'm just documenting and showing people how to speak out in little increments, because that's what it's going to take is those thousands of little pinpricks, all across the country, questioning them. That's not going to hurt anybody, is to question them. Now, they may act like it hurts them. They may feel like they're physically injured by holding them accountable. But I'm excited. Have you ever seen Steven Crowder's show on YouTube?
No.
Where he does, do you know about him, though? Do you know who he is?
I do, yeah.
That mug, say, like, we're going to do that. I think we're going to do a version.
Oh, that's cool.
Like our own version. It's
That's
cool. Interesting.
That would be a riot. The other thing is, I forget what I was going to say. How's that? It was right there. It'll be back. I think, and so, I don't like to talk too much about this, but I think what we're trying to do out here, and I've been really bad and lax at getting back information to the people I've been talking to. Well, actually, just to one guy on Facebook. We're talking about having some kind of a face-to-face meeting out here and seeing how many people can make it out here sometime next year. I'm wondering if we can pull it all together by the time the Clinton thing happens.
Yeah, I'm excited
so you
about
can
that.
be out. Yeah. And the idea is to have a couple of days of meeting time, and just to get people who we've met on Facebook and have like-minded thoughts about things to get together face-to-face and realize
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and realizing that we might all be in different places, right? Some of us might still be very much trying to work around the system, where others might be at the point where we're in total anarchy, right? So we're thinking of having things like, nonviolent civil disobedience training, how to get arrested without, peacefully and stuff. So I think we're in the talking stages, and what I would hope is that we could inspire enough people in other parts of the country so that maybe there could be 4 of these things in all the key areas of the country, 4 of these meetings where somebody could take the first model and try to do it elsewhere. And maybe the topics aren't the same for that area of the country, but use that model to try to get people in a direction, at least, I say it would really, really make Washington nervous if we start doing this stuff. I can promise you that. They count on our complacency for success, and that's what's going on. We've been, Howard Zinn says it, in all of his stuff, we think that the only thing we have to do as citizens is go to the polls every 4 years and vote. And that's,
it's not true.
Even under the best of circumstances, voting is marginal as a change maker. Voting changes nothing, even when things are going great. So, I think we just have to face facts. It's always more comfortable to live in the voting bubble than to think about standing up and putting yourself at risk. Because some of us will be at risk.
Yeah. I mean, we're putting you and me and like Julian, he's already put himself at risk, and he's inspired me to speak out, because we're not going to become safer unless we do this. We're not going to, we're not going to, if we silence ourselves, say we stopped talking about DNC crimes, say if we stopped talking about GOP crimes, say if we stopped talking about child, trafficking,
right?
That's not going to help anybody. So these people that are telling us, there's people told me that I need to shut up and that I have to stop and that I'm saying horrible things about me, and saying that I must not be the rational mind, exactly like you're getting, I must not be who they thought I was, or I must not be legit because I don't legitimize any party.
Right.
That's my right. I don't see evidence that brings me to the conclusion that I need to vote.
Exactly.
That's your job. If you think I should vote, you tell me why. You prove to me why, and I'll tell you why I shouldn't.
Right.
We just need
it's
to.
Very clear why.
Go ahead.
It's very clear why I don't vote. I will say. I think in the state of Massachusetts, there are 3 really, really, really good Greens. And if you're going to vote, that's what you vote for. I know people who are, voting Green and then doing radical not voting on everything else, except maybe the referendum questions, which I can understand. I have no problem with that. But to reject a duopoly, anytime you can do that, it's a victory. And I don't care what anybody says. Imagine, this is what I'm saying. Our elections are so owned by the moneyed class, right? Look at it, this in their minds, right? When they're giving all this money to the parties and the candidates, they are doing that looking for a return on their investment, whether it be they've let some kind of legislation through that benefits them, or there's going to be a pharmaceutical product coming up and they're greasing the skids to get it passed quickly. Whatever the reason is, there's always something attached to it. So you can imagine what would happen if they invest these billions of dollars. Look, they're giving Andrew Gillum how much just to run for fucking governor?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Soros money, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Soros and Tom Steyer, the other guy.
They don't care. They don't care.
No, they don't care. They don't. But imagine giving all this money, right, and having only a 10% return at the polls. That would be a 10% return on an investment that's magnanimously huge, and I guarantee you that would do something. That's the way people need to think right now.
Yeah.
At the best, it's not undoable. When people go out and vote because they're angry or because things are going good, only 50% of Americans vote anyway. Why couldn't we get that to 10%? Think about it. I mean, do people really think their votes matter anymore? We know they can ignore them, flip them, throw them away, not count them. They oppress people. They fight. Look they're taking away Native American voting rights this time around, right?
Yeah.
They were doing voter suppression in 2016. They're freaking.
And blaming Green Party for not uniting with the Democrats. Fuck them. Fuck
That's
that.
it. Screw that. That's the last thing the Green Party needs.
I don't support Green Party because I don't like any parties. However, the Democrats and the GOP, they're not going to fucking blame the Green Party for shit. You know? You froze.
You know what? You want to vote Green or Libertarian? Do it, because you're not voting the duopoly. And then the rest of you, stay home. That's what I'm saying.
No, so, I don't think you should necessarily stay home. I think we should start having DNC Fraud Protests, you know.
Oh, yeah, I do too. But I'm just saying, those people who are ingrained in the duopoly still, they need to stay home, because they're not going to come out in the streets with us anyway.
Yeah.
We just don't want them to vote. This is what we want. Just don't vote.
And don't donate, because we don't want these Democrats, they feel like I'm against them because I don't support their party. I'm like, no, I just don't want you to be manipulated. I don't want you to be lied to. I don't want you to help our oppressors. I don't want you to waste your money. You know, I'm doing this. Right. I'm doing this because I believe that it's better for everybody, not just me, not just you, not just people that are not Democrats. You know,
right.
They deserve better. You know,
right. That's right. That's right. And you know what? He's getting like the day after. Watched that video of Andrew Gillum openly thanking George Soros and Tom Steyer for their generous support. I got an email from the Democratic campaign, whatever it is, asking me to donate $3 to Andrew Gillum, okay? Because that's what they do. It's never enough, okay? And I had somebody on Facebook say to me today on a thread, drove me insane on my thread, he needs all the money he can get. We're done suffering here in Florida. Something like that. He needs all the money he can get to win. That's exactly what's wrong with all of this. It really is.
You need to tell them you are who your friends are. And, you know, people listed in the Podesta emails, that's a no vote for me. That's a no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know, and like Stephen Colbert, if you are listed in the Podesta emails over once, but let's just, for record, let's just say over, I think it's like 60 times he's in there, then you don't have the credibility to debunk pedogate.
Right.
You don't have that credibility. If you're in the fucking Podesta emails, you can shut the fuck up.
That's exactly right. Straight.
And, you know, all these people, all these celebrities like Oprah, that's their inner circle. They get off on it, you know.
Yeah. They do.
That's not credibility to me.
No, it's not.
A career on mainstream media, that's not credibility. That's lack of credibility.
Right.
You know? That's
right.
You are an enemy of the people, pretty much, if you've been in politics and media for, you know, any amount of time. You know?
Exactly right. You know, I mean, and that at one time the media was formidable, but you know, with the advent of the charming and delightful Bill Clinton Telecommunications Act, where he basically allowed, you know, open season on neutrality in the media, that's been gone. It's done. It's as corporate owned as our candidates. And that's the unfortunate thing, because now there's nobody in the mainstream media to do the job that it would tend to do,
I think it's
which
just
to keep government honest.
It's important that we put out a message to people that they're not crazy, you know, for not wanting to vote. They're not crazy for not liking either party. They're not crazy to say that our elections are rigged. We saw it. We've documented it. We've researched it extensively, you know, and uniting people around the concept of holding these people accountable and doing it without a vote, doing it by standing in front of their building and you know, using a bullhorn to say exactly what crimes you've researched and say, you're not going to go away. We're not going to go away. You know, in every DNC fraud protest, every Julian Assange protest, you know, for solidarity, and like all the protests that you hosted, that you're going to host, we just need to put out a message to join us, you know. Whenever I attend a protest that I hosted, people always just come up and thank me, and they hug me, and we have the best time. We uniting with people that are politically similar to you, you know, around your ideals and your beliefs, not just about parties, but about what you really believe in. It's so calming, you know, like the other day when Estella Jordan and Alex Spillman came out here to Washington to protest with me. They're like, it feels so good to be in the same room with you guys. Like, I want more people to experience that. I mean, I think that's the key, is getting people in the room together and having them start a dialogue and make a plan, you know?
Right. You know, I just have to tell you this before I forget, because I don't know if you heard from her, but Bobby Ratley out there in California, she's a big supporter of you as well. She is actually coming out here in April for the Clinton thing so she can meet us both. She's coming out from California. So, you know, if we can start getting people to think about doing
She
that.
helped me with the very first DNC Fraud Protest.
Yeah. It's great. It's great that it's great to start getting that kind of action. It seems small. Welcome to Sarah's room. This is her studio. Oh, here she is.
This is when I went to Washington to do the DNC Fraud Protest. This is the only thing we had around us, and we wanted to remember it, so we all wrote our names on this rock that was outside of our hotel. And I'm going to remember this protest forever. I've got a paperweight to remember it.
There you go.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's just special uniting people, you know, that felt alone. Because, you know, if people like me, that their family doesn't know what they're doing, they don't care. You know, my family doesn't care because they're not interested in the concept of rebelling against our government.
Right.
Like,
And you know, I'd like to make a comment too, because we did a protest out here when Hillary Clinton did her original book tour for What Happened. The one where she had the question and the answer on the cover. What happened, Hillary Clinton? That's what the fuck happened.
She knew
but
what happened.
We did that book tour at the Opera House, okay? And we were all there, and then, you know what? Over across the street on another corner, there were Trump supporters protesting that had seen our, had seen our event on Facebook and joined it, right? And we got along fine. We weren't there to discuss Trump versus anybody. We weren't there to badmouth each other's side or whatever. We all walked back and forth from one corner to another. We spoke to each other. We got along great. And this is the unfortunate part. The Clintonistas across the street that were all lined up, right? They actually set the police on the Trump supporters. They didn't say a word about us. But then they had the police over there questioning them and trying to break them up. And I said, hey, wait a minute. They're not doing anything wrong. They're exercising their right just like we are. They're not doing anything different.
Well,
that's not okay, okay? That's not okay, all right? That's all I'm saying. You know what? When we can be together on the issues that mean the same thing, mean the same thing to us, we need to be able to do that. I have a lot of people on Facebook I talk to every day that are Q supporters. You know what I think of Q. I think Q is for quack. It's just the way it is. But you know what? We have enough in common and enough belief in common that we stay away from that topic. And, you know, I'm not a believer that anyone's coming here to save us. It is on us now. We're done with that fucking unicorn fairy tale, whatever it is that we have, that we're waiting for the magic, whatever the hell. And the notion that it's even Donald Trump is enough to make you laugh. But no politics.
Honestly, though, I think being focusing any of my time on opposing Q, or I've kind of just, it's like complaining about Trump right now. Like, it's not necessarily helping us, in my opinion, but at the same time, the people, and I think that's probably why the whole Q thing got started. They wanted to make Trump supporters look a certain way and, make people not want to work with them. And so we actually I know a lot of people that support Q, that support me and support the DNC Fraud. So it's like, I kind of I've learned to find an understanding where it's like some things I can overlook and I can You know, people need to just be able to do what they want to do, and as long as it's not causing violence or
right. And
blatant misinformation.
right. You know, the only thing that I ever speak out against or speak out about is when people say,
trust the plan.
Trust the plan. Because it makes people complacent, okay? It makes people complacent, okay? Yeah. People think, trust the plan, oh good, something's coming, we're going to be saved.
They're going to stretch that out.
That's a dangerous thought process. Nothing is coming, okay? We are not going to be saved, all right? If we're going to do any saving, it's on us. That's all I'm saying. The only plan I want to trust is mine or yours or the people's plan. That's what it needs to be, not an alphabet. You know, it's not a freaking letter of the alphabet.
Real quick, I don't know how long we've been talking. There's no really timer on here. I don't want it to cut off. So
let's shut it down soon. Yeah. So go ahead. Anything in closing besides alagala, have a drink? I'm only on water right now, but I'll fix that later.
I think we just need to, you know, end this with a message that Become Ungovernable is uniting with DNC Fraud Protest. And I think your idea of, I lost my train of thought.
Yes, happens to me all the time.
Obstruct. I keep wanting to say vacate the vote because I thought about that for a little bit. Obstruct the vote. I think that is what we were missing with the DNC Fraud Protest, because people were wrongly assuming that because we're against the DNC that we support the GOP. And so I believe that if we push the idea that I really think could work to stop voting, I really believe in that, and I think that that'll show people that we have no, you know, other intentions to help any other party.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's exactly what we needed, is uniting with you. So if there's anybody else out there that has other ideas, join us, because we need as many people as we can.
Yep, I agree.
Representation in every state for DNC fraud and people that are becoming ungovernable. You know, and we'll see where it goes. You know,
right.
Hurt.
Yeah. So this has been good. We will keep you guys posted. I am going to be opening a Facebook page on Obstruct the Vote 2020.
Now you have a
so we can get going on that.
Are you closing that one or still using that?
What do I have? I don't know. I think I'm going to close that.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll do a Obstruct the Vote Facebook page, and then on the DNC fraud page, we'll do a section about Obstruct the Vote. And,
and I'll put a section of DNC fraud on this page too.
Cool.
All right.
Have a good talk.
And I'm actually off Monday and Tuesday, so I'm going to be working on updating my 2 websites so I can get Obstruct the Vote up. That page changed from the strike to Obstruct the Vote for now until we go back.
Page is looking good.
Huh? Yeah.
Page is looking good. All of them.
Good. Yeah, gonna be doing an update while I'm off. So, all right, it's been a good talk. It's been a pleasure.
See you on Discord.
All righty.